Oh, hello there, my name is Brianna, and if you followed me on any other social media platform, you would know that I like to teach people makeup as if they are toddlers. I thought I would come on here and just answer some frequently asked questions I have about makeup. Like I said in the intro, I cater mostly to beginners, so if you're a professional watching this and you're like, that's common sense, we already knew that, go away. Everybody, sit crisscross applesauce. Let's get in a circle. Question 1 is, how do you combine eyeshadow colors? How do you know what colors to use with other colors? I'm gonna try not to be super nerdy in this and keep it pretty simple, but I have my hobbies, people, and I get excited. There is something called a color wheel. So when it comes to a color wheel, you have analogous colors and you have complementary colors. And if you're like, Brianna, I thought you said you were gonna keep this simple. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just hold on a minute. Analogous colors are just the colors next to each other, and complementary colors are the colors across from each other. Just know whenever you are doing an eyeshadow look, analogous and complementary colors will always work with each other. So let's say you're going to use the color purple. Red and pink are always going to look good with the color purple because they're next to each other. So if you're doing an eyeshadow look and you want like a pop of color, look for a complementary color. So if you're going to use purple, the color across from purple is yellow. If you are someone who likes more natural makeup and softer colors, you're going to like neutral tones. Neutral colors are just brown, white, black, anything really desaturated. So if this is like a vivid green, this is like a neutral green. It's almost dulled down. Now here's the thing with neutral colors that can be a little confusing. A lot of the times you'll hear people say, go in with a cool brown or a warm brown or a neutral brown. We just love to make everything complicated, I know. Basically, with colors, there's a thing called undertones. You can have a warm undertone, a cool undertone, or a neutral undertone. A warm undertone is a brown that has a lot of orange and red in it. Think warm like fire. A cool brown is going to have a lot of blue, purple, green. It should almost have like a grayish tone to it. Think of how cold the ocean is, and the ocean is blue. Now, a neutral brown means that it's not too warm, but it's also not too cold. It's a little bit in the middle. Just make sure that the colors you're using have the same undertone. So for example, this is a brown eyeshadow, but it almost looks gray. This is a cool toned brown. But this is a warm toned eyeshadow palette. This almost looks like a pale orange. Do we see the difference? The next question is, how to fix dry patches on the nose. I think we've all been here at least once or twice where we've done our foundation or concealer and you look in the mirror and your nose looks splotchy. It's almost like your foundation is allergic to your nose. It just doesn't want to stick or look nice. Now, I am not a dermatologist. I don't know much about skincare, but I do know that the first step you're going to do is exfoliate your skin. Something I like to do is just take a washcloth in really warm water and just go in circles on my nose before I do my makeup. That's going to help get rid of any of that dead skin that's still hanging on. Next step is to make sure that you actually are moisturizing your skin. I like to cover my nose in like Aquaphor or Vaseline before I go to bed, so when I wake up my skin is a lot more hydrated and I have less dry patches. The third thing you can do is get an eye primer and put that on your nose before you go in with your concealer or foundation. Eye primer is grippy and tacky. Your foundation and concealer is going to stick to that like glue. The next question is, what brands do you recommend for beginners? For eyeshadows, I recommend ColourPop because they're really affordable. They always have sales going on and they blend really easily. They're very creamy. The other brand I really like is Maybelline. If you have really oily, greasy skin, they have a foundation for you. They also have a nice foundation for people with really dry, peeling off skin. They also have foundations for combination skin where you're dry and greasy at the same time. Double whammo. The next question, which is probably my most asked question, how to avoid creasing, especially underneath your eyes. I'm gonna say for most people, the reason why they're having trouble with creasing, you're probably using too much product. To be honest. On social media, you see a lot of people applying a lot of makeup. It almost looks good to have more makeup on when you're on camera, but in real natural lighting, more makeup is 9 times out of 10 not the best option. So there's a couple ways you can make sure that you're not using too much product. When you put makeup products directly onto your skin, like for example, this is a concealer, so if I put this directly underneath my eye, I don't get full control of how much product I'm applying. Apply the product on with a brush and then put it onto your skin and build it up in light layers. Another thing too, make sure that you're tapping excess product off. Normally people go in with a powder to set their under eyes. Instead of going directly underneath my eye, I'm going to tap some off on my hand. And then I'm going to apply it. Makeup is not a filter and it's not plastic surgery. If you have wrinkles and really deep lines in your skin, you're gonna get some type of creasing. See how some of that product is kind of caking up right there? That's just how my eyes are. There's nothing I can do about that unless I want to go get plastic surgery. Nowadays on the internet, there's so many filters and people not disclosing that they're using filters that it looks like people don't have creasing and lines and stuff, but they do. They do. The next question I got is how to stop panda eyes. A lot of people also refer to this as raccoon eyes. This just means that people took black or dark eyeshadow color too far down. There is such a simple fix to this problem, and it's just to use smaller brushes. This is almost the size of my eye. If I were to take a black eyeshadow and put this underneath my eye, I'm gonna get black eyeshadow like all the way down here. Instead, take a smaller brush. The smaller the brush, the less surface area is going to touch. How do I stop getting muddy eyeshadow looks? One of the biggest reasons why you will get a muddy eyeshadow look is because you're mixing too many colors together. They're all kind of just blending into one muddy shade. So instead of using one brush for every single color in this palette and blending that all in your eye, use multiple brushes. That way the colors aren't going to mix together as much. You can also use what's called a color switcher. It's like this little sponge. Wipe it off on that sponge and it gets all of the eyeshadow off of your brush. There's also a spray that you can use to clean off the colors in between. If you're a professional like me, I just wipe my brush off in between colors on my pants. Life-changing information right there. I know. Someone asked, why is my makeup always so cakey? There are so many reasons why your makeup might be looking cakey. So I'm just going to briefly explain every one that I can think of right now. I didn't write this down in my little binder, so I'm going off of just pure brain power right now. I'll probably forget half the things I was going to say. Make sure that you are prepping your skin before you do your makeup. You're going to wash your face and you're going to apply your skincare. Find whatever works for you. I'm not a dermatologist. Go to a dermatologist if you need one. Life advice with Brianna. I've said this many times, your makeup will only look as good as your skin. If your skin is really dry and it's peeling off, your makeup's also gonna look really dry and like it's peeling off. If your skin is really oily and greasy, your makeup is gonna melt off your face. So make sure that you are taking care of your skin as best as you possibly can. And you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on a skincare routine. With makeup and skincare brands, if they're really expensive, it's not necessarily the formula that's better, it's just the brand. You find a product at the Dollar Tree and Kim Kardashian puts her name on it, she gets to sell that for like 50 bucks, even though it's literally only worth $1. But because she's Kim Kardashian, people are willing to spend more money. Heard dermatologists recommend Cetaphil, CeraVe. I personally really like Good Molecules. All you really need is a good cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. And also a makeup remover if you wear makeup, which I assume you do, because you're watching this and I'm watching you. I can see you. I've hacked into your webcam. I'm just kidding. Hey there, Sandra. Also, you will get to an age where you don't give a shit anymore. My skin is so dry and cakey right now, I don't care. Make sure that you're applying in light layers and building up. Don't just take 7 pumps of foundation and smear it on your face and expect it to look good. Pump some foundation on your hand, apply half of that. And then if you need a little bit more, take a little bit more. Don't put it all on at once. That's going to be thick, cakey, and gross on the skin. A lot of makeup on the skin normally only looks good in certain circumstances. If you are getting your pictures taken, if you're going to be on camera, on TV, stage makeup, most of us aren't doing that. So light, thin layers, people. Another reason why your makeup could be getting kind of cakey is because sometimes products just don't mix well with each other. And then sometimes it's just the product itself. Some people have really oily skin, some people have dry skin, some people have a lot of acne and texture and big pores, some people don't. My concealer that I like for my skin might not look good on your skin. But those are all the questions I'm going to answer now because my battery is going to die. I have been filming for 55 minutes, so I really hope that the audio works, that I plugged the mic in correctly. If I missed any information, I will just make a more in-depth video in the future. There's literally no question that is too dumb. Even if it's the most common sense question you could ever think of, I don't care. I'm the last person to judge about that stuff. You should see me in the wild. And by wild, I mean like a grocery store. I'm dumb. Okay, so don't ever feel judged. If you have any more video ideas for the future, let me know. I'm going to be uploading a lot more on here. Goodbye. Have a nice day.